Hey you guys, it's Dani. Today I am going through the process of making decals. I am actually making some artwork for some notebooks that I have that I'm about to put in my Etsy shop. They are some plain, come here, little notebooks, sewn edges, upside down notebooks. Now, I did not make these notebooks themselves. The time and the cost of making them would make the whole thing just way too expensive, in my opinion, for what it is, with the artwork and all the decals and everything that's going to go onto it. So I actually bought these little notebooks. They are A5 notebooks, and I am creating art, putting it in my system, and creating decals. So I wanted to bring you on that process because I've had a few people ask how I do these things. So we are going to go along and make my moth notebook. So here we go. So we are going to start with my sketch. Please forgive my raspy voice. I do have a cold, so I'm not going to talk too much. But you'll see me going through my sketch, trying to come up with my design. And then I'm going to ink it and kind of remove everything that I need to once I black it out. So now that it's done, I go ahead and put it into the Silhouette program. I have a Silhouette machine, so that's the program that I use. So I airdrop it to my computer and then pull the file in. Once it's in here, I'm going to just set it wherever I can, and then I will go to the trace button. Once I do that, I'll select the trace area and then pull the box around it. It'll light up. And now I can play around a little bit with the threshold, make sure that everything is there. That's why it's best to have everything in black and white, because it'll read it really well and it won't kind of leave anything out. So once I'm done, I press trace and then I move my picture, delete it, and we have what the machine needs to cut. So from here, I'm going to take it, select it, and then shrink it down to the size that I'm going to need. So I'm going to go down to about 4 1/4, something like that, 4 3/4, so that it'll fit right on my notebook. And then once I get the size correct, I'm going to shift it into place, and then I'm going to copy and paste. I like to do multiple things, since I like to do things in threes. I don't know, it's just a thing. I don't know. So I usually like to cut a few at a time. So for these, I'm going to do 3 of each. And you'll see I added in one of my other designs in here, my little serpent design. So I went ahead and did the same thing for that one. Put it on here. That way I can get a full sheet done. And then I'm going to go to send up at the top. That's what I just pressed. And I'm going to select what I'm using, which is going to be matte vinyl. So I'll go and select that in the drop-down menu. Let it kind of load. So now I have my sticky mat. This is a strong grip, and sometimes it totally takes some of the backing off. But you have to clean it quite often for it to remain sticky. So I have a roll of vinyl. This is going to be on matte white. And so I'm just going to kind of roll it out onto my mat. Make sure it's stuck. Perfect. Just kind of let the rest kind of flow down. And I'm going to stick it on my machine. Okay, so I have it loaded into my machine. And now I'll go back to my program and press send as is. And it's going to start. I do as is because sometimes it'll mirror it. That's if you're doing like HTV, which is heat transfer, and putting it on like shirts and stuff, or on bags. So here's an up close view of it doing its thing. So we have had casualties. Let's see if it'll... Sometimes when you do really intricate designs, sorry, I'm sure you can hear Charlie walking on the floor. It will pull them up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save those. Like, some of them I'm trying to pull out, like these. But these are supposed to be on there. So I may have to lose those. Now, we had some in here, but I am pulling all of that out, so I'm not super concerned. But this makes weeding, which I'm about to show you, and stuff a lot harder. Which is why when I make my, come on in focus, my candles, I keep them a pretty simple design because I had a really intricate one with my planchette on it, and it ended up doing things like this, and it was a whole mess. It was taking me so long to get it on there. It was like not worth the time. But this, like I said, because I'm taking most of them off, I'm not super worried. It's just the one with the serpent that I'm kind of bummed about, but we'll see. Let's get to it. So here I'm going to cut out one of the designs and start weeding. And weeding is just taking all the excess off. Let's make sure we don't have any too big of a shadow. I'm using new lights, so please forgive me. Okay. So we have this all weeded. Not too bad on this one. I got my transfer film. Make sure this one's big enough. This one's not. Let me see if I have. This one will work. No. Go ahead and cut another one. I want it to encompass the whole thing. I have a huge roll. Okay. And you can reuse it, so I don't mind keeping little pieces around. That way I can just reuse until it's no longer sticky. I just kind of shove it back on the roll. Okay. So now I just use an old card that I have. Make sure everything is sticking down. So, see what I mean? Sometimes it does not come up. So let's see what we got here. I am going to line it up how I want it. It to be kind of in the middle. And reveal. There we go. Beautiful notebook. And then I had the other one. I did the other one, and instead of worrying about all these little dots, I went ahead and drew them in with a gel pen. So these are a few of my notebooks that are going to be up in my Etsy shop soon, and I'm continuing to design, so I have a whole lot of fun creating these. I am still deciding whether or not I want to have these available in different ways, whether that be a decal that you can kind of put on anything you like, a computer, a car, anything like that, or if I want to do these on maybe some of my totes or some of my little bags. So I haven't decided yet. If you have any suggestions, if you'd like to see them as decals or tote bags or anything, please let me know in the comments. I'm always open for suggestions, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all very soon. I'm sending you all my love. Later, Gators.